episode of Hoosiernerds podcast with your host Mikey, Tim, and the two Chris's. Tonight we're without Tim because I don't. Many of you may know, or many of you may not know, he had a procedure last week, and he's kind of dead to the world. So Perka Tim is a real thing right now.
Look at him.
Yeah, Perka Tim.
He's here with us in spirit, though.
Yeah, he's probably passed out playing Madden or something.
His players are losing like valuable points because they're falling asleep with the controlling.
He's down like 60-0.
Yeah.
Just because he's asleep. Okay, so let's get right into the news. It's some sad news here, but Grant Imahara, famous for MythBusters, and he did animatronics and robots for Star Wars, the prequels, Terminator 3, Jurassic World, or not, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, like the second one, and White Rabbit Project, which was a Netflix series, has passed away from a brain aneurysm this week.
Oh my god!
Yeah. He was too young.
He's seriously one of my favorites, and
Yeah.
I watch MythBusters all the time, and I really liked him, and he had a great personality and humor to science and everything like that. Like, he made it fun to want to watch that show.
Yeah, I don't want to say he dumbed it down, but he made it so I could understand some of the stuff they were talking about. He brought a really good energy to the MythBusters. The first few seasons were really good, but when they brought on, Grant and all them, it just brought he brought a different type of energy to the show. And it's a big loss, I think, for the movie world, and it'll be felt in the future, definitely.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
If he did, I didn't realize he had done all of those. The Jurassic Park movies and the Star Wars prequels, and I thought he was just the host of MythBusters. Shows you how much I paid attention to his career. So I kind of feel bad about it now.
Well,
R.I.P.
let's move on to some better news, I guess. Antonio Sabato Jr. is opening up his own movie production company.
Yeah,
You're the one?
I'll take it. He's just there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are being blackballed for one reason or another. He feels, and a lot of movies aren't getting made. A lot of actors aren't working, so he's opening up his own production company so he can get this done. And it could be a good move. I mean, we all know that the movies lately have been kind of stale, for the most part. There have been some good, obviously you got the Joker and things like that, but the comedies have been extreme miss. Nobody likes comedies anymore, I guess. I don't know. Rom-coms are down. There's no comedies. There's no crude comedies out there. It's just kind of a real hit and miss with the movie industry, and hopefully with this new production company, maybe it can put some new ideas out into Hollywood, and we can get some more good movies made. I don't know. It's just the infant stages. He just announced he's going to start a production company, and we'll see some of our favorite actors possibly working again, and get maybe some new fresh ideas out on the silver screen for us to go watch.
Does he have a name for it yet?
He does not. I was looking it up.
I'd love to see something like that. I mean, because I feel like movies and even stand-up comedy, they're almost playing it safe, and they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or whatnot, and they don't want to get canceled. And
right, and that's what he's talking about. He wants to do projects that essentially projects that Hollywood wouldn't do. And I mean, how many movies are big name movies that Hollywood really didn't want to touch or be part of? I mean, Jaws was a perfect example of that because they spent so much money and then they had to go back and go get more money. And you can use Revenge of the Nerds as part of that. Nobody wanted to make that movie either, and I mean that was a big blockbuster back in its day.
Yeah, it's a cult film now.
Yeah, it is a cult film. So maybe we'll see some stuff like that coming out. Maybe I'd rather see it all on the silver screen as opposed to everything coming out on the streaming services. So, which I'm sure they'll do both.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's always good to get an infusion of fresh blood and ideas to a market.
Yeah, I don't think anything should stop creativity and all this new innovation and stuff. I don't think just because political ideas they want to attack something like that, I don't think anything should be stopped.
No.
And what he's doing, I think, is going to open up doors and stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping too. And I just want some fresh ideas. And I mean, I just put out a movie and I'll go see it. If it looks good, I'll go see it. I don't care what your agendas are or anything. Just put out quality work for entertain me. Do your job, and hopefully that's what this production company will be successful in. So.
Earn my $10 for that hour and a half, 2 hours.
Right, exactly. But it's in its infant stages, but it's all over. It was on Fox News. It was in Entertainment Weekly. It was all over Twitter. So
yeah,
it's a pretty big deal. So
after you told us about that in the group chat, I loaded up Facebook and saw people posting about it. So, what did Antonio Sabato Jr. even do? Like, I didn't even look him up. I should have.
He was a model.
He wasn't.
Oh.
His dad was an actor.
Oh, okay,
Antonio Sabato. He was in. Actually, he was in a racing movie called Grand Prix, which is one of my favorite racing movies of all time.
He was in General Hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in General Hospital and Melrose Place, I think, is another one. Melrose Place was huge. It was Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place was the shows to watch back in the 90s.
The Bold and the Beautiful.
The Bold and the Beautiful. That was a big name.
He's a soap opera actor.
He's a soap star, yeah. So I don't know. Let me IMDb him and see what else he's been in.
God, what bad host! We didn't even look up, who we're talking about. He's been in a lot of stuff, but I don't want to say it's all.
He stays busy. Let's put it that way.
He's not in it for the fame. It looks like he's in it for the.
He's just a working actor. That's all he is. And good for him. If you can stay busy in Hollywood, and be a working actor, there's nothing wrong with that. I have never heard of. I mean, he was in like Bones. He was in TV shows, CSI New York, and stuff like that. So he's just a working character actor. It looks like Scrubs, NCIS, Bad Girl Island. Hey, now that sounds impressive.
All right, I might have to look that up afterwards.
Yeah, he's just a working actor. It looks like. So, I think he's one of them guys that shows up and stuff, and you're like, who is that guy?
He's that guy that we're like, I know him from somewhere.
Right. But so yeah, good for him. Glad to see him, branching out and getting people back to work.
All right. Well, let's move on to what did we watch this week? I know Mikey and we watched the new Netflix movie, The Old Guard. It's got Charlize Theron, or however you say her last name. I'm never going to say her last name.
It is Theron. Theron.
It is? Right? All right. Cool.
Good job.
First for everything.
I know. I'm never going to do that again, though. I'll say it wrong the next time. But she leads like a group of immortal mercenaries, trying to save the world from different things. And basically, she's in the movie. She's been alive for like ever. Like they don't even know how old she is, and there's a guy doing research on her, and it's just like, yeah, she's in like Greek epics, and even further back. What did you think of the movie, Mikey? I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it had a good story to it. They laid it out pretty clear to the average viewer, and the action was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since like John Wick and that kind of choreography came out, it's just like it really changed the way directors and fight choreographers they lay out the movie and stuff, and like the way they filmed it and did all the shooting and clearing houses. It was amazing to see. Really well done.
It felt this new fight, like you're right. Ever since John Wick, it does feel like it's a different. Everybody's taking up a different type of fight scenes and stuff. and it feels grittier, and I like that. It doesn't feel robotic, where like, yeah, they're the hero, they're gonna get through it.
Yeah.
It's like you're in there, you're in the stack moving through the building. Um, this I thought the story was a little soft, but it made up for it in all of the action. Like, I love Charlize. She does most of her own stunts. Like, from all the movies I've watched with her action movies, she does a lot of her own stunts, and it shows. It's kind of like Tom Cruise, where it's like you never feel like you're out of the action with them.
Right.
Um, she's really become a really great action star, and I kind of see her as like the next Sigourney Weaver, as in like the female action hero.
True. And like most of the actors in there, I don't think I've ever really noticed in any other films I've seen
Um,
besides the person that played Copley. I don't even want to pronounce his name. I'm looking at it now, and then
Wait,
I'm gonna
what's
do
it
I'm
it,
gonna
called?
eat
do
that
it.
one. No,
No,
no.
no, no, do it.
Wait, what's the movie called? What is it?
The Old Guard.
Um, Chwetel Ejiofor. Yeah,
Oh
it's
wait, is it
it,
what? Hold on. Who?
Chwetel Ejiofor or
Oh,
something like that.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah,
He's in 12 Years a Slave.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
a really good actor. I like him.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. Yeah, he is a very
Oh,
good actor.
and oh, I forgot about the guy who played the villain, Stephen Merrick in the Old Guard. He played Dudley in Harry Potter.
Who?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he played Dudley in
Yeah,
Harry Potter.
he
But
was in
yeah,
Harry
those are like
Potter.
yeah,
Deadly.
those are the only like the three I recognize, and all those actors were they played the part pretty well. I like seeing new actors
All
do
right.
well.
It's kind of like
So
what we talked about last week, how they have like one main actor,
Hmm.
and then they like have like all they bring in
Yeah,
like the unknown actors to like prop them up. Because the girl that played Nile, Kiki Lane, I thought she did really well, and
yeah.
she might have a future ahead of her. I hope.
Oh
She
yeah. And if they didn't have Charlize in there, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I wouldn't want to watch it so quick. I
yeah,
probably
I
would have
wouldn't
got
have.
to it.
It wouldn't have been a day one for
Yeah.
me.
Uh-huh. But
Uh,
we highly recommend it,
mm-hmm.
and we hope you guys enjoy it too.
Trying. I don't think did we spoil anything? I think we did pretty
no,
well.
you didn't really spoil anything at all. You just talked about
Okay.
it was full of action. So
Yeah.
and she does her own stunts. So I'll check it out. I'll try and check it out.
All right, Mikey. You watched the new George Lopez special. What'd you think of it?
Let's just say that I'm a fan of George Lopez. I don't know anything. Apparently, I think a couple years ago, people thought he was stealing jokes. But anyway, let's get past that. I don't care about that. But I did like. I mean, I like the George Lopez show. I watched that growing up and whatnot. But I thought he was good. But this special, I don't know, man. I know some of it was funny. Of course, I had a chuckle or two, but it wasn't. I don't think it was geared toward me. I think it was more towards the Latino community, and like a lot of his jokes felt like they were the same. Like it always had the same punchline or something. But I feel like it was more towards the Latino community, and I didn't really relate to it as much as I would like a Burt Kreischer or a Tom Segura. Like those specials that those two made, I was literally in tears, but this one I barely got a chuckle out of it. So
Do you think was playing it safe, like we had talked
no,
about?
no, like his first joke, I mean, was about. I mean, his first like opening jokes were about immigration and the wall a little bit. So he got a little bit political, but
Uh huh.
which I didn't mind. I don't care about that, but
Right.
If you can't laugh at yourself, what can you laugh at?
Exactly. That
yeah.
is exactly right.
Hmm. But that's
Um.
just what I thought. I don't know.
So, would it be worth me putting on my like watch list, or should I like if I'm bored one day throw it on?
If you're, yeah, I'm a fan of them, so I did watch it.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you're bored, I'd turn it on. that's not something that's like a day one, like you said. But
It's not like Dave Chappelle where I got to go watch it right
yeah,
now.
yeah, I agree.
All right, so Chris, tell us
Yes.
about your man crush, Zac Efron, and his new show.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Zac Efron is my man crush, obviously. Um, so he's got a show on Netflix called Down to Earth, and he has teamed up with this guy named Darren Olian, who he's wrote a book and he's like a superfood guru. He wrote a book called Super Life, and they travel the world, and they go to Iceland, and like Iceland has self-sustaining energy, and it's really interesting how they do it. But what I saw that I enjoyed watching was he was talking about these. It's called the Blue Zone, and people in the blue zones live into their hundreds, like 105, 103, and basically they talk about how the diets that they eat, which is, and I looked it up online, and the blue zone consists of your diet is 65% carbohydrates, 20% fat, and only 15% protein. Now, and even in the show, Zac Efron's like, I have never heard of a trainer telling me to only eat 15% protein, because it's always
Yeah.
low carb, high protein. Every
Mhm.
trainer in America talks about high protein, low carb, and they eat in here in America we eat meat is the main dish and the vegetables are a side item. In the blue zones, it's complete opposite. They eat 2 or 3 ounces of meat maybe 5 times a month, and their
Jeez.
vegetables are their main source of food. They eat a lot of fish, things like that. They eat some eggs, but beans are very big. Any kind of beans. And he travels the world. He goes to a place called Sardinia, which is off the coast of Italy. It's near Sicily, and he talks to people. He talked to a gentleman. He was 98 years old. There was a woman that was 102. Um, there's a place down in Costa Rica, and he went there, and it looked like a hippie commune is exactly what it looked like to me. But because there was a bunch of young people, but they live in this commune, and everything is self-sustaining there. They grow their own fruits and vegetables, and they have their own meat, and they all prepare food together, and it takes time. It's not, you don't throw something in the microwave and heat it up for 5 minutes. The kids go to school, and they all go to school together, and they're not learning, you know, they use tools. They learn how to build things. They use knives, they use saws and hammers, which, kids here in America probably kill each other. Um, but it's I was just I watched the first episode, and I got into the second episode, and I have tried to lose weight here recently. I've lost almost 30 pounds in 6 months. So I'm really big onto trying to eat healthy, and this has opened up my eyes. I want to read that book um, that the co-host of the show has written, Darren Olian. I want to read his book, and he's like best friends with Zac Efron, and Zac Efron's like he's the real deal. I was really surprised. He when he's talking to these old people, he's just got this glimmer in his eye. Like he really respects the elderly, and he wants to hear their story. And there was a segment in the show, and he wants to contribute to society. And it's really weird for a celebrity to hear say, but he was talking about after High School Musical came out, and he was plastered all over the place. He's on toys and lunchboxes and posters and magazines. And he says, I didn't understand it. He says, I was famous, but I wasn't famous for anything. All I was famous for was being in a TV movie. He says, I didn't contribute to society in any way. Now imagine a celebrity thinking that way.
Yeah, that's such a unique view
It is a very unique view.
for
So
someone like him, and as young as him.
yeah, I mean, he's 33 years old now, but I mean, he had that epiphany back then, you know, 17 years
That's nuts.
ago. So that's insane for somebody at that age to think that he wants to make an impact on the world.
He wants
And
to leave a lasting
yeah, he wants
legacy.
exactly. And I think that's an awesome thing. So I highly recommend this TV show. It's an eye opener. It was an eye opener for me. I want to watch it again.
What's it
Uh,
on?
it's on Netflix.
And it looks like they're not more than 40 minutes, so it should be like a quick
Yeah,
breeze
there's
through. Yeah.
only 8 episodes. I watched it in one evening. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
I honestly thought this was like some TV show, not a docu series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought it was. You started talking. I'm like, wait, this is a docu series, not a.
Well, he goes down to Puerto Rico and he visits where a lot of the hurricanes, when the hurricanes went through there a couple years ago,
Yeah.
And the mayor, that of Puerto Rico, uh, had all these people sign the wall that came down to help, and she wanted him to sign the wall, and he's like, "Why do you want me to sign the wall?" He says, "I haven't done anything." He says, "I haven't contributed to anything," and she's like, "Because you're here and you have a plan and you want to contribute, so that's enough." She's like, "Please sign the wall." So he didn't want to even sign the wall. He doesn't.
Yeah.
People recognize him and he'll take pictures, he'll sign autographs, he's extremely friendly and outgoing with them, but he's almost like a Paul Walker in it. He's got other things on his mind and on his agenda. He wants to
He's looking past his acting career.
exactly. It's exactly
It seems like he's really down to earth.
exactly. He is. I mean, the show says it all, man. But
God dang it, Mikey.
he does have that. He's got that Paul Walker kind of deal where I think the acting is his job, but he
Yeah.
really wants to leave a footprint on society and leave his mark and like Chris have a legacy. So
Great.
check it out. Down to Earth with Zac Efron on Netflix. 8 episodes.
All
Check it
right. So you also watched Dummy, and in the pre-show talk, this show interested me.
out. Oh my God. Okay, so it's on Quibi, I believe. Is that right?
Rest in peace, Quibi.
Rest of it. I think it's gonna be that quick. So it's got Anna Kendrick in it, and she plays like a screenwriter. She's supposed to be writing this. She's an aspiring writer, and she's got a boyfriend played by Donald Loge. So it's got famous people in it, and she finds out he has a sex doll. Well, so she wants to see what this sex doll's all about, and all of a sudden she's like, the sex doll talks to her. So they're only like 6-minute episodes, and like she's like, the sex doll like wants to help her get cleaned up, and then she tears the sex doll, so she takes it to the sex doll store to get fixed, and it is so weird and bizarre, but Anna Kendrick is hysterical in it. The sex doll's funny. It is voiced by somebody named Meredith Hagner, and she's really funny in it, and it's kind of weird and bizarre, but I loved it. I watched it all. Like I said, there's like 10 episodes. They're 6 minutes long, but it is a funny show. It really caught me off guard. So, if you can find it somewhere online on a Fire Stick or a Roku or
You and this
whatever,
fire stick.
dude, it's my savior. Check it out because it's really hysterical. It's raunchy, but it's hysterical. I don't think there's enough raunchy comedies out anymore. I think we need more of those. And I am a huge fan of the raunchy comedy dick joke kind of movies, and we don't have enough of those out right now. So go check it out. I don't want to get in too much to what happens, but it's a crazy story. So. I don't know.
I need to find a way to watch this show.
It's a winner. I love it. I'll watch it again. It's that funny. So, that's all. Like Forrest Gump says, that's all I got to say about that.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to video game talk. I've been playing. I've had the game for a few months now, but they update it like every month, 2 months, pretty big updates. A game called Hell Let Loose. It's a PC only game. I know, PC exclusive. Blah blah blah. But it's a tactical World War II shooter. It's 50 on 50, and right now it's only Americans versus Germans. But in the upcoming patch, they're adding British, and they've said they're going to add like a few other nations. But so this weekend, probably by the time you listen to this, it's going to be too late. But they're doing a free to play weekend that you can play the game, and it's, let's just say, if you've ever heard of like, it's legitimate like sound porn. The game sounds so good. Like
Is it
the
is it
guns are realistically sounding.
is it like Call of Duty,
It's no.
like the World War II Call of Duty games?
It
It's
almost looked like
in a
Battlefield.
sense it is, but it's closer to Battlefield. It's realism game. It's a realism game. Like you get shot once, you're probably dead, depending on where you get hit.
Okay.
Um, like today, before we started the podcast, me and my buddies were playing, and we were defending a farm against an assault, and we, my squad, me and my friends, we were defending until a tank and some infantry decided to roll up on us, and we just got mowed down. Like I ate a direct shell from the tank, and like my arms and body just went flying.
Oh no.
But if you like World War II, if you like shooters, if you like realism games, it's not like Call of Duty or Battlefield where it's fast paced. Let's snort some Adderall and go play. It's more like a slower paced game. Let's think about our next move type of game. And the game looks good. Like I've been saying, it sounds great. Like as a weapon or as a gun nut, like I am, hearing an MG42 exactly how they sounded in real life, or hearing like the Thompson or the MP40, it just like makes the game 10 times better in my opinion. And I've had to turn the volume down a couple times because I got a machine gun going off, I got explosions, I got, when your character dies, they scream like in pain. So it's like, oh my god, this is loud, and
Yeah.
I'm going death.
Yeah, lucky you don't live in an apartment where like it would alert them and scare them or something.
Knock on the door. Are you killing somebody in there? I'm killing my ears.
I was gonna say, don't you? You always have headphone head.
Yeah, but I'm mildly deaf, so I have my volume high enough
Okay.
that probably people can hear me. I know my parents can hear me sometimes in the next can hear my headset in the next room
Oh
sometimes.
jeez. That's intense.
Mikey and I and our friend Brad, we've started playing Diablo 3 again. Don't know why. I think we saw a trailer for Diablo 4 and all were like, let's go play
Yeah.
Diablo 3.
Yeah, and we're just all super bored, and Diablo is just something that we can all play together
Hmm.
and just chill.
It's not a PvP game where we're gonna get stressed out. It's just a fun co-op dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
And I know I'm getting pissed off at the game because like the last 3 nights we've played, I haven't gotten any gear upgrades.
Yeah.
And it's starting to wear on me.
And it's the first, they're at the season 21 right now, and it's just like the first time I've ever played a seasonal character, and it's really different. Not having all your characters inventory linked and all that junk, but it didn't take long to gather loot and those sorts of things to have a successful character.
It took a week and a half for us to finally get to a good spot.
Oh yeah, and it's still fun for some. I don't know. I'm still finding new ways to play and different techniques, and it's always evolving for some reason. I don't know why it doesn't get old, but even though I think it probably should, but it's so weird.
So they have like rifts, and it's just basically a dungeon that we do, or that you do. It's like the end game, and each one's a little bit different. It's procedurally generated, so each dungeon we go into is a little different. We'll see different enemies. They'll have different abilities, And then each character, there's six characters, or six playable classes,
Something like that. Yeah, it's
and
close.
each one you can reliably have five
Yeah,
different like good builds.
builds. Yeah.
Now you can do your own build, but like there's websites and YouTubers that have like the meta build or whatever.
Mhm.
But
And speaking on that, I mean, Diablo 4, I've seen gameplay of that, and it looks absolutely terrific. And I can't wait. And there's no set date, and I'm super sad, and I don't know what to do with myself. If
well,
when they establish a set date, I don't know if I can wait that long. I have to jump in a time travel machine or something, or find a
take
way to
t-
fucking get there.
join Perkatim and just sleep till
Yeah.
then.
Or be like South Park when Cartman when Cartman frees himself for that game spear.
Great reference. Great reference. I just
I know Tim would like it.
That's a great
A channel
episode.
by Tim.
I just hope the game doesn't have the same like launch issues like Diablo 3. Because I remember we all were like
Oh
at my
yeah,
house with our computers and we were like gonna play it
yeah.
at like midnight when it came out, and we couldn't play, and it
I
just got
believe
really.
I believe I had to wait a week to play it or something.
Yeah, it really like the launch for Diablo 3 sucked, but I think Blizz really learned their lesson from that because they really haven't had a. Overwatch had some connection issues on release night, but overall we were able to play. And I never really don't I've never heard anything bad about WoW on like their DLC or patch releases. So the one thing that I'm happy is Diablo 4 doesn't have like a set date, like you said, but that also means they're not gonna put it out in an unfinished state. Make us spend $50 to beta test the game like some other companies do.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, Chris, you've been playing. I've already beat Red Dead 2, but
I've
you
been playing.
you started
I've been
playing
playing
it.
Red. No, I haven't started playing it. I'm into the second character, but I'm that game has it like there's like certain points in the game where like there's not a lot going on. Like I was chopping wood earlier, and I've just basically been riding around and shooting people and robbing them, and then the law comes after me, and then I got to shoot the law, and I got killed earlier for holding up a train. So I just been just going around just brutally murdering people for just riding their horse down the road there.
How
'Cause
dare they?
it's just I picked up a treasure map and I got to go find the treasure for that. But there's not a lot of action going on. There's no bounty hunting. I don't have. I don't know where I'm at in the game where. And I noticed this with the previous character because Arthur was the first character. And then this guy's what's his name, Jim Marsden or John Marsden or something like that.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm at this point in the game where there's no quests to go on.
You
You
might have
just
beaten the game and you're just in the end game, just
if that's
screw
the way
around.
it ended, I'm gonna be pissed off because I hate games that just like end on oh hey, well it's over now. So I don't know. I'm gonna ride around a couple more days and kill some more people and hold
Have you
them up.
tried the online? The online when it first launched sucked, but now it's in a pretty good spot now, in
No,
my
I don't
opinion.
ever play online. Y'all bullies online, all you millennials and younger people.
Okay.
I hear those videos on YouTube where them kids are out, 12-year-olds are cussing out, millennials because they can't.
Hey, I grew up in Xbox Live chats. I'm immune to any insults from anyone younger than me.
I don't have time to deal with some kid chewing me out because, I stood up during a bank robbery when I should have stayed down behind the wall, so
Mm.
I'll keep you updated on where I'm at. But yeah, that's all I got going for me now. It's just Red Dead 2. But I enjoy it. It's fun.
You know who else is a video game nerd? Henry Cavill. He
Cavill.
released a Cavill, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's
I,
Cavill.
It's,
I'm
I thought it was
as
Cavill.
we've all noticed, I suck at saying people's last names.
Is it Cavill? It's Cavill, isn't it?
Uh, I'm pretty sure it's Cavill, but I'm
It's
like
not-
90% sure.
But whatever. He built a gaming PC and was playing and showed some videos of him playing Witcher 3, which is awesome because he is also plays
Oh
Geralt
yeah,
of
I
Rivia
forgot.
in
Yeah,
Netflix.
I forgot. Like he loved that game before he even before
Yeah,
he even started The Witcher.
but
He loved it.
it's just awesome to see like so many like actors and famous people
Athletes,
coming out
yeah.
gaming. You know, Terry Crews was one of the first big ones to come out. He built like a gaming PC. He's done a bunch of like events. He's actually in a video game. That video game sucked, but it wasn't his fault. Um, and then you see like all the NBA players also, streaming and stuff.
And I mean, if you watch the video with Henry, I don't think he's built a computer before it, but because he was, I look like he spent hours upon hours doing
Yeah,
it. And I don't know how. I've never built one, but I'm sure it probably doesn't take that long.
it's
But
it depends. Um, I've built a PC. It's not that it's hard. It's just you got to make sure you plug everything in right, and you got to make sure it all is in the right position. Because you
yeah,
mess up one thing, you got to take it all apart again. At least in my experience, and figure out what you did wrong.
it looked like he was really focused on chord management too, trying to get all the chords to look good and whatnot.
Dude, chord, chords are the death of me. On my last build, I just kind of let it hang out. I gave up, but I also had to do that because I had to upgrade a fan, so the cord was out of place.
Yeah.
But you should build your next PC, Mikey. It'd be good.
I'd love to if I had the funds, but
Well, I was looking at upgrading.
Better get
should
your Patreon going.
yeah,
Yeah,
I should have used my 1200 stimulus for that.
that would only
Well, he
that'd
might
only be
get
about
another
half.
one, so there you go.
Hey,
If you're looking to if you're ever looking to upgrade, Mikey, wait till the new generation of graphics cards come out because that's when the old generation's cheap, and you're working with a 960 or 970. I forget what you got right now, so it works. You don't need the newest stuff.
I think it's a 560.
Fives, okay. I didn't realize your computer was that old.
No,
Is it?
it's a. Oh, I looked it up the other day. It was R6 560 or something like that.
Oh yeah, you don't have a yeah. You're using AMD, not Intel.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
right. MSI, whatever it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, boys. What is on your guys' to watch list? Like coming out soon, or it's already out, but you're like finishing up another show.
See. I saw that Dark Phoenix is on HBO, so I will be checking that out, as well as the Greyhound with Tom Hanks.
I want to watch that, but yeah, Amazon Fire Stick. I need to get one,
You need a Fire Stick.
or I just you come over to my place, or I go over to your place,
Either
whichever, either one.
either or. But those are the two that are on my list right now. Is those? Yeah. So I'll probably be watching this. And then y'all said that whatever that last movie was, what y'all watched.
Old Guard.
Old Guard. Yeah, I'll probably check that out too. So
I know it looked like Netflix just added a docu-series for the business of drugs, and I haven't heard anything about it, but I basically watched everything else that's popular like that, or centered around drugs and that type of thing. Not because I do them, of
Oh.
course.
sure. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Mikey's the kingpin here in town.
First
I
signs
guess.
denial, Mikey.
Yeah. And then looks like I heard good things about Batman Mask of the Phantasm. It's an animated one, old one that I might watch. It came in '93. Wow. And then
Yeah, I was gonna say that's an old one. I'm
yeah.
trying to think about it.
For some reason, I just remembered I heard really good things about it. I don't think I've ever remembered watching it, so might as well. And then I gotta finish Monty Python's Life of Brian.
How do you not watch the whole movie of Monty Python's Life of Brian?
I got tired. I got things to do. I have
How far did
responsibilities.
you get in? Oh my god, these people.
I don't know.
You don't
I looks like I'm
remember
about halfway through it.
it?
After
It's like,
I think I left off right as he ran back to the little clubhouse and the Romans were chasing him. And then they stack in there we gotta search this place and they're just hiding underneath
they're hiding behind
yeah.
everything and behind the curtains and stuff.
I think that's where I left off. It was a funny. I don't
Oh
know
my
what.
god, I love it. It's gonna get funnier. Don't.
Oh man.
Wait until Biggest Dickus hears about
That's
this.
right.
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember watching that part too.
I
Yeah.
wish I could do the voice for Biggest Dickus.
Biggest Dickus or Julius Caesar.
And his wife.
Incontinence
Yeah.
diabetics.
Yeah.
Why do you laugh when I say Biggest Dickus?
Yeah. See, I was a big fan of I think the only Monty Python I ever watched really is the Holy Grail, of course. But
Of course, the Holy
yeah,
Grail. But the Life of Brian is
yeah.
I honestly think Life of Brian was better than Holy Grail.
I'm starting to get that feeling too, and I love that little era too. I love that Roman era or whatnot, or with the Romans.
The whole part when they're sitting in the Colosseum, and John Cleese's character, he wants to have babies and he wants to be a woman. They're the People's Front of Judea, the PFJ.
When they start naming off all the different terrorist groups.
Yeah, we're not Judeans People Front. We're the People's Front of Judea. Oh, and then the best part is that when they're at the Sermon on the Mount, and they can't hear what Jesus says because they're too far back. So they're like, "Blessed are the cheesemakers. What do they need to be blessed for?"
Suicide Squad attack.
And all the women, they sell fake beards so the women can get the stonings.
And everyone at the stoning is a woman.
Shoot it.
Him. The haggling. That's right. When he was haggling for the disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to haggle.
Oh my god, it's a great movie.
God damn, I gotta watch that movie tonight.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh man.
Charity for Next Leper. Oh god.
Thank you for the gold and frankincense. You can forget about the myrrh next time, though. Which is his name? His name's Brian. Oh man, they just don't have stuff like that anymore.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, what else are we watching?
I don't know how we can top that.
I guess we can go to Supernatural because it's finally ending. But they only had 13 episodes, and I don't think you and me both watched it all, Mikey, and that can't be the ending.
Yeah, it was. I truly was shocked. I was absolutely this can't be it, because I was oh, there should be another 30 minutes, and it just ended, and it's no. I have no words.
They left it on such a freaking cliffhanger. I've actually been so thrown off by it that I haven't yet to look up if that was actually the ending.
Yeah, I don't even know what direction they could go. Yeah, I have no words.
If it tells you anything, it was from where they left off. It was worse than Game of Thrones.
It's up there.
Well,
yeah,
I'm looking online, and there's about another 5 episodes.
Oh, that they're making, or
they were out. The show's ended.
Oh,
but they haven't put it on Netflix yet. Like it ends on episode
oh,
315 or 15 or whatever. But there's 16, 17, 18, 16 through 20.
interesting.
Like
I wonder why they haven't got it on Netflix.
I don't know. Maybe it's not like a weekly release because I've waited a week since the last one.
Yeah. That's kind of odd. Maybe they're just like, maybe they have some type of deal. They're just reserving it or something.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Maybe it's on some other
That's
platform. Have either of you guys watched or even looked into the new Netflix show Warrior Nun?
No.
Like going off of Supernatural. It's about a bunch of warrior nuns who like fight demons and stuff. It looks really interesting. It's on Netflix. I watched like the beginning little preview or like the first trailer for it. It looked really good. It was just a bunch of girls kicking butt and taking names.
Warrior
And
Nun.
I can get behind. I can behind that.
After waking up in a morgue, an orphan teen discovers she now possesses superpowers as the chosen halo bearer for a secret sect of demon hunting nuns.
Sold American. Let's go.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
It's on my to watch list. I was waiting. I watched. I finished up Supernatural, and then I watched The Old Guard, and now I was going to start watching this tomorrow.
10 episodes.
And that's Netflix for you. 10 episodes. You're lucky to get 12 episodes anymore.
40 to 50 minutes in length, while 37 is the shortest. So, well, that sounds kind of cool, though.
And Netflix just added The Last Dance.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
So if
good.
anybody hasn't watched that yet, I would highly recommend it because it really changed my view on the legacy of Michael Jordan.
I wasn't really a Jordan fan, mostly because I was a Pacers fan.
Well, that was the same way.
And I watched that series, and
Dude,
it changed my mind.
He was the best basketball player in the history of basketball.
There might be
No way.
better. There might be more skilled players, but there will be no one with his drive.
And you know what's mind blowing in that era? And I would challenge anybody that plays in the league now. They could not play. They could have not played in the league back then.
No,
it was way too physical. They talk trash more, and I mean, even in the playoffs, those guys were not afraid to throw haymakers in a playoff game.
I can't deny LeBron James is a great player, but I don't think he could do it in the 90s. He would get body checked so often that he would not be able to do anything.
No.
And Michael wasn't as big as LeBron is, though.
No, and that's
one
the
argument.
thing. I mean, why does LeBron flop and throw himself all over the ground if he's that much bigger than Jordan when Jordan didn't do it?
Jordan sold it a little. Let's be honest.
Well, obviously the league gave him the pass, but that whole show, I mean, the whole deal with Rodman wrestling and then
going to wrestle.
He would go wrestle and he would be on a talk show and then he'd go to practice and he wouldn't show up for practice. He'd just show up for the game. And they're like, oh, he's going to play. But dude, he was so good because all he wanted to do was rebound. That's all he cared about. He was a selfless player. And that's what you needed back then. You didn't have all these guys that want to be, now you got 5 guys on the floor that want to be the superstar. You don't have.
The thing that I hate that NBA analysts do now is they say, "Oh, he's a two-way player." When I was learning to play basketball, we're in Indiana. We all play basketball. Everyone's a two-way player.
Didn't we all know the pick and roll by the time we were like 6 years old?
Yeah, yeah. I might not have been a good ball handler, but I knew how to use my weight, and I was always taller than everybody else. My size against everybody. And I don't understand why defense is such like a heresy now in the NBA. Like I like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George because they play defense.
Right.
I think defense is the most hype. Like if you get a good block, that's going everywhere.
Oh.
Posters.
Yeah.
It's going everywhere.
Like that block in a couple finals ago when the Cleveland beat the Warriors. That block hurl around the world.
Didn't Hibbert block somebody and it looked like the Pacer logo?
Yeah, he blocked Mello.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these guys today couldn't play. That was so physical back then, and even the NBA shows those old basketball games, and they showed like the Pacers and the Knicks.
Oh my god, I miss those games.
Oh
Like,
my god,
I'm old enough to remember those games.
you know what? I went to one of those games. I went to game. Was it 5? I think I went to game 5 in 1994 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's not the year we made it. Because I remember
No,
when we made
no,
it.
they got beaten 7. They got beaten in game 7. They should have won game 6, but they with Houston in the finals, they could not have 2 small market teams.
Well, it's the same way when we took the first time we took Miami. With LeBron and D Wade to 7.
Right.
They couldn't risk us in Tennessee or Memphis.
Memphis, that's right.
Or the Spurs because San Antonio is a small market.
Right. So
yeah, David Stern or whatever his name.
He was a creep. They made it to the finals if the malice of the palace would have never occurred.
Oh yeah, that was their year to win.
Yeah.
Artest and everyone that says that was like the destiny team. They were going to win it that year.
Yep. So
and Artest, I watched an interview with Artest. He still feels bad and like blames himself for ruining Miller's send-off season and ruining.
Did you watch? I was watching that game live.
Oh, I watched it live.
The Malice of the Palace.
I used to watch every Pacers game.
I was like, all I kept on saying to the screen was like, "Dude, stop! No, don't do that." But yeah, that documentary on Jordan, that's basketball, and that's NBA basketball when it was in its prime. It really was. It was in its prime.
Mm-hmm.
The '80s, the Jordan, Bird, Magic, era. That was just great basketball.
You know who could not coach nowadays? Why can't
Phil Jackson?
No, Phil Jackson.
Because nobody would listen to him.
Phil Jackson can only coach superstars, and that's the only reason he has 11 rings. Put him on any other team, he can't do anything with us if he doesn't have MJ or Kobe to carry him.
Larry Brown?
No, IU coach. Oh my God, this is heresy of an Indiana person, of a Hoosier.
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight, legit probably hates right now.
He said Jordan was the best player he ever coached.
Yeah. But
because he coached him in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And Bobby Knight was the reason no one played defense really before Bobby Knight started coaching defense.
Man,
we could do a whole show on
We could do a whole show on Indiana basketball.
Yeah. Let's move to baseball. So the Blue Jays, who are in Toronto, because can't play in Toronto now because it was either Canada or Toronto won't allow that many people or something.
So no home games, yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are having to find another place to play. The big names right now are Omaha, Buffalo, and their summer training facility or their spring training facility in Florida.
In Dunedin, that's a small state.
Yeah. So I think they'll either play in Buffalo or Omaha. Omaha has, a great field.
Well, this article here, where did I go? This is NPR. Okay. Says that this has got it whittled down to their spring training facility in Dunedin or in Buffalo.
There's actually an article an hour ago with the Pittsburgh Post that they're talking to the play at PNC Park.
In Pittsburgh, really?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
That would be weird.
I don't know if the Yinzers would like that.
No, I don't think the Yinzers would like that either.
Good thing it ain't snowing. They throw snowballs at them.
Right. Well,
that's Philadelphia.
Let's be honest. Pittsburgh doesn't have a real baseball team.
Ouch.
Yeah. And Buffalo Blue Jays, that doesn't sound too bad. The Buffalo Blue Jays.
They'll still be the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah, but I mean, They're playing Buffalo though, so I'm gonna call them the Buffalo Blue Jays. I don't
Was
care.
it? Wait, wasn't the Rays going to split their season between Montreal and Tampa?
Yeah, because they were thinking about moving or out of Tampa.
They should move out of Tampa. That's the worst. That is the worst. Let me get. Let me. You got me started on this because I used to the games in Tampa. That is the worst freaking fan base in the world of baseball. They only show up when they win, and then they even didn't even. I remember Aubrey Huff. Was it Aubrey Huff, or was it the other one? Maybe it was Aubrey Huff. But somebody was complaining because they were leading the division. This is the end of the season, and they had 12,000 people show up at their game.
Jeez. See,
That's
they pack that stadium in during the playoffs.
that's because that's one of the only time anybody ever shows up.
But
I used to go see the Red Sox play there because they used to run 2 for Tuesday specials. You get outfield seats for $25, and they on Tuesday nights, and it'd be 2 for Tuesday. So you got 2 tickets for the price of one.
it's like Colin Cowherd says. I think it's Colin Cowherd. It might be Stephen A. Smith. It's like, why go to these games when you're like on a beach? You live in Florida. You live near a beach.
It's
like,
not
go
the
to
pretty. It's not the prettiest of stadiums here. I mean, it's just
No.
It's really not. It was cooler when like the Tampa Bay Lightning, before they built their arena, used to play there. That was cool because you had the hockey arena, and then like they have this giant curtain up, but behind the curtain, they had like video games, and you could play the USA versus Russia hockey game, and you could kick field goals, and you could do all kinds of stuff in between the intermissions. It's not a great park. I mean, I guess the way the lines are, from what I understand, the lines are built there, similar to what Ebbets Field was like.
Okay.
It's the field is laid out like Ebbets Field for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So, but it is just a dome. It is. There's no. I mean, I've been to Riverfront Stadium. I've been to Wrigley Field, and you've got that atmosphere, that feel. When you go into a stadium, or like you go to Conseco, or what is it, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. You got that basketball atmosphere.
Yeah.
And there was no baseball atmosphere in that dome stadium.
It was all business.
Yeah, it was just it was a bizarre feeling. But when it's 97 degrees outside and then a thunderstorm pops up, it's pretty convenient to have that dome. So that's the main reason why it's a dome stadium. It's in an odd place. It's in St. Pete. It's not even close to downtown St. Pete. It's right off of 275. So it's not easy. You have to drive through Tampa. And if you're like, I live an hour north of Tampa. So it would take me 2 hours to get there. Well, it's a 7:00 game during the week. I've got to fight 5:00 rush hour traffic from Tampa back into St. Pete. So you're stuck in that traffic.
Jeez.
So it is not an easy stadium to get to. It's a hassle. And I think the promise was that it's like in Foxborough when they built that stadium for the Patriots. They put a shopping mall out there, and they put restaurants out there, and all this stuff started building up around it.
Kind of like Lucas Oil, how stuff's built up around Lucas
Right.
Oil.
And Brooklyn, Barclays Center in Brooklyn's the same way.
Oh my God, I need to go to Barclays Center.
I drove past it a couple of years ago. It's a neat little area, but that never happened in St. Pete. There's like maybe 3 restaurants and homeless
It's
people.
kind of out there.
So it's just out there by itself. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see if the Rays end up moving back. I'd like to see them play in Montreal. I'd like to see Montreal get a team again. They're a little bit more deserving than the fans in Tampa. I'm gonna say.
Honestly, I'd love it if Indy got an MLB team, so I could actually root for an MLB team. Home team.
I can see the Red Sox here in Indianapolis instead of having to go to Chicago.
But we already have a AAA team. So.
Oh yeah, the Indians, who are probably sweating in their boots right now. Oh God, name change time.
You think they'll have to change them? You know, they were they could go back to the Negro League team and be called the Clowns.
Was that a real thing?
Yes. Yeah, Indianapolis had a Negro League team. They were called the Indianapolis Clowns. They played at the original Victory Field.
That just sounds worse.
Small story to that. When I lived in Florida, they had Negro League players come out to my local mall, and I went out there and I met a player who played for the Indianapolis Clowns.
How old are you?
But no, he did. He was an old man. But he
Oh, okay. All right.
Negro.
Okay.
He was a young. Oh my God. You know, they had. I saw it in the paper. They had like 7 or 8 former players from the Negro leagues, and this guy had played for the Indianapolis Clowns, and I was talking to him about the original Victory Field.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard to hear you say that the name of the league, but I know it's the name of the league. It's historic. It's the name of the league.
And I mean you had Josh Gibson and Satchel Paige, and I mean you had some great players in that league, and it's a shame that
there were better players than crap. Who was the first black player in the MLB?
Jackie Robinson.
There were some better players than Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
But
and a lot of them
he had the best attitude for it.
For like, if you've seen that documentary by Ken Burns, that baseball documentary,
they
would try and play off that they were like Cuban or like they were Hispanic, so they could play Major League Baseball. But Indianapolis did have a Negro League team called the Indianapolis Clowns.
I want some research on this.
So it's very interesting. I was really honored to meet those players. It's just a pretty awesome thing. I've got a poster somewhere with all their signatures on it. So
you have to find it if you can. We put it up on social media.
Yeah, I will.
So who's starting pitching for the Cubs, Mikey?
Oh, it's our weekly Cubs information.
Yeah.
Yay.
We need like a sound effect now.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't care.
Yeah, sure. The Cubs named Kyle Hendricks as the opening day starter to start off the season. Really exciting. One of my favorite pitchers for the Cubs, behind Arrieta, who's not a Cub anymore, but Arrieta was my favorite. But now it's Kyle. He's got a unique style that you don't hardly see anymore, and I really like to see him pitch. I'd love to see him live. I've never seen him live, but he's awesome.
Didn't you tell me his style is he doesn't throw it fast, but if he wants to put it in a corner, he'll put it wherever he wants.
Oh yeah, he can. If he's on his game, I mean, pitchers sometimes they're off on days, but when he's on, and nobody can hit him. It's great.
I'm just excited for MLB to come back, and I'll probably be a Cubs fan this year just because they're the closest team. Well, I shouldn't say that. White Sox are pretty close, and Cincinnati.
I would say the White Sox are probably closer than the Cubs because they're right there on the south side.
but I have friends who are Cubs fans, so I can.
That's a reason to root against them.
You could find, but
you should root for the Cardinals and see what happens to all your friends that are Cubs fans.
You could find more Cubs apparel if you feel like wearing that stuff around here, though, than you can White Sox. Mm-hmm. But you can also find Red stuff too.
I mean, we got this thing called the internet now, so
yeah,
this fancy new thing.
MLB.com/shop.
So. I guess the other big news of the week for sports was the Washington football team's name. What do you guys think it should be? Like, let's end it on this.
The DC Redskins. Washington Redskins, go F yourself, Carl.
I would love that. Or South Park. Washington Redskins, go fuck yourself.
You think they can take the AFL team? DC Defenders?
No, I don't. Honestly, I really like. But the name I like is either the Red Wolves, because the Red Wolf is a highly endangered species, or
area though.
I don't think I think it was in that area.
Was it?
But I really also like the Red Tails, after the Tuskegee Airmen.
What
Why is
about
that
like
not
the Washington monuments?
Or the
Washington?
the Washington Swamp.
the Washington Swamp?
Mm.
The Washington Generals, like the basketball team that plays the Harlem Globetrotters.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or
The
how
Pistols.
about Confederates?
Oh my God.
No, yeah,
Getting
that-
us
no,
getting us
that's-
canceled already.
That's probably worse. Yeah.
You just canceled our podcast right there. I don't know. Did you see? There's a story where a guy like he like trademarked all of the names that could, so he can
Oh,
get
wow.
a piece of the pie for if
Hey.
the Redskins change their name.
That's capitalism for you.
Isn't it?
I don't blame him.
Oh,
If
man.
I would have thought about it, I would have done it.
Here,
But-
this is according to the New York
That's
Post.
just too much work for me.
Let's see here.
Yeah, but think of the money he can make. He can basically set his price.
The Hogs. There you go.
It's like trying to steal like a Twitter handle.
Washington Hogs. Why not? The Hogs over the Red Hogs. Are they kidding? Is this really legit? They're gonna call them the Hogs? The Red Wolves and the Red Tails. The Warriors.
I like the Warriors too.
But I also find it interesting, like Nike kind of was like, we're not gonna sell your like logo or anything
That's
anymore.
unbelievable. And you know what? I don't
Yeah.
buy Nike stuff anymore. I went shopping for shoes the other day and I bought Pumas. I will not buy a product.
I thought Puma was part of Nike, but
Shut
I'm
up.
not sure. But yeah, I find that interesting. Like they took a stand, was like, hey, we're not gonna
FedEx,
do this
Pepsi.
anymore. Yeah.
A bunch of other companies did it. It was like, because what the owner Dan Snyder was like, I'm never gonna change the name.
Well,
But as soon as I hit his pocketbook, he was like, I'm changing the
Yep.
name.
well,
Yeah.
didn't the grandson of the person that is modeled after came
Yeah,
out
he's,
and said,
No, his
that-
grandfather was the artist.
oh, but he was an Indian.
Yeah, he's a native.
Yeah, and I read somewhere it said people who are offended by the name of the Washington football team don't watch football, and I really firmly believe that.
Does anybody know if the NFL like really told the Redskins they have to change their name, or was it just the
No.
sponsors?
It was the
So,
sponsors.
You know what's
It was
crazy
just the
though?
sponsor. Yeah.
But
that's
any
it.
kind of uniform change or anything, don't you have to? Isn't that like a 2-year process?
Yeah, the thought right now is there's going to be no name change this year. It's going to be Washington football team, because like the last time a team changed its name, it took like a year and a half.
Which was the Titans,
Yeah,
because they were the Tennessee
because
Oilers.
they got to
for a
get
while.
they got to get all the stuff trademarked. They got to get everything started printing, everything switched over.
If it was up
you
to
know.
me, I would have Houston change their name back to the Oilers and wear those uniforms because those were legit.
Don't they have throwbacks too? They can always throw back.
To what? To
They have
Texans?
throwback nights, or don't they?
They do, but I think the Titans use the Oilers.
Yeah, the
Pro-
Titans do throwbacks.
Yeah.
to the
Oh,
Oilers.
okay. I
They
see.
should do it when they play Houston and confuse everybody.
Right? It's like when the Colts go to Baltimore to play.
Oh
They
my God,
call
they don't
them-
even.
They never call them Indianapolis.
They,
They call
no,
them-
they don't call them the Colts.
Don't call them the Colts. They call them Indianapolis, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is.
or they call them the opposing team.
Well,
So,
there's a 30 for 30 on that. You should watch it. It's really interesting.
all right. So, anybody have anything else to say, or
Don't forget to follow our social medias. Twitter is @PodNerds.
at Pod Nerds?
At Pot Nerds, and then we've got at Hoosier
Hoosier.
Nerds Podcast on the Facebook.
We should honestly get an Instagram, but I wouldn't know what to post on there. Just me.
I barely post
like-
on my personal Instagram, so it's like
Maybe
Yeah,
eventually.
I just do Twitter. Yeah, maybe eventually we'll have to do that eventually.
if we ever get big enough where we're like, hey,
We have to sell product. Yeah, that's
yeah.
selling t-shirts.
I mean, Mikey sells product all the time. He's a kingpin.
No. We don't talk about that.
Okay, yeah. You're gonna send the hitman after.
Fuck yours.
But I hope everyone has a good week, good night, good day, whatever. Whenever you're listening to this, and we still need to freaking come up with an ending, guys.
Tim had one. I forget what it was.
Oh, like the God dang it, frickin' Tim.
Go F yourselves. No.
If you're wondering whose your nerds are, we are. Something like that.
Yeah. You know whose your nerds are, and have a good night.